So I'm going to open up the program here with a tweet. Welcome to it. Canada wins 3-2 from Aaron Schmeling, who communicates here regularly with us. I felt the draft here in Minnesota was at a country exhaling. Welcome to the sheet. Hang on one second. I'm only going to say this once.
Yeah. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a good zone entry.
Yeah, I could see that. I appreciate your call on that. The time it took you from the zone entry to you saying that is actually exactly the time it took from the high stick to the referee calling it at the end of the game. Because he didn't call the high stick, he called the embellishment. Let's be completely clear on that, right?
What the hell are you talking about now?
That official raised his hand after Nathan MacKinnon was pirouetting around the ice. Thank God his vision was still good to score that goal. He called the embellishment. He didn't call the high stick. He didn't see shit.
Okay. We move along.
That's twice in the game the Canadians drew penalties through embellishment. Tom Wilson the first time, of course. Puck don't lie. Wallace scores on the shorthanded goal. And at the end of the game, they called the penalty because MacKinnon throws his head back after lifting Mikola's stick into his face, by the way. Nobody mentioned that.
Whenever there's a stick near your face, you throw your head back. Play. That happens to anybody. That happens to anybody.
On an embellishment, and it is a joke. And you guys should be so happy that the refs gift wrap that one for you.
Someone from the country that houses Abby Murphy is complaining about embellishment. We're starting the show off rich here on the program today.
Embellishment is a skill. It's a talent. You've known me for years. I've never said that embellishment isn't a skill and a talent, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't lead to late game power plays to save a team on the ropes.
Let's hang on. Wait one second here, because we're gonna pick this story up here in a couple seconds. I want to get something in here. The Blueprint, powered by FanDuel. Download the app today and play your game. We're gonna come back and indulge wishes, little gripes about how now it's gonna be Canada versus Slovakia for the gold. Greg Wyshynski from ESPN and ESPN.com. Canada versus Finland recap. Gold medal thoughts. Tyler Yaremchuk coming up here in a couple of moments. I don't want to dwell, honestly, too much about the nature of, the difference between embellishing and just trying to draw a penalty, because that line is very fine. All players do that. As you mentioned, it's part of the skill that goes into every single hockey player. All players are out there trying to draw penalties at every single moment of the game. It's because you go back to the bench and the coach gives you a cookie. That is the nature of this one. So outside of Greg's gripe about that Canadian power play at the end of the game, getting there, what did you think of this one? Because to me, the story of this one was Finland sat on it too long, and it was only a matter of time.
They sat on it in the second period. They came out in the third with probably a little bit more gusto than Canada expected. I mean, the story of the game is probably Finland's inability to get the three. I mean, it was kind of the same story as Canada-US in the women's game yesterday, where I think if Canada had gotten a two goose, I think based on how the Americans are playing, gripping their sticks, that game is probably over. I think if Finland gets the 3 goals at any point in this game, then they don't have to worry about chicanery at the end with the referees. So that was their inability to get the third goal. And I thought, let me finish. I thought Binnington played well in preventing that from happening. And as the game went on, the Canadians certainly, found their offensive game. And there were a couple chances that obviously were extremely close, like the MacKinnon shot right before he threw his head back as if he had, been gravitationally pulled towards the boards. The one that went off the knob was Saros. It was very close for them on a couple of occasions. But yeah, Finland's inability to get that third goal, and that's part and parcel of them sitting on the lead in the second period.
There were 2 chances there. There was early in the third, the Anton Lundell chance, and then later on there was a Sebastian Aho chance. I'll be honest with you. Going into the third period, my thoughts as a cynic was Binnington's going to let in, quote unquote, the softie, and that's going to end up being the story. Finland's going to go on to win this thing, and that's going to end up being the story. But to his credit, again, Binnington didn't. Binnington didn't let that one, and it hasn't made himself the story in a negative way here, which is kind of the story that everybody already has written and is just waiting to hit send on. Agree or disagree?
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. I think he's done well in not allowing that to happen. And I think that it's weird, as the games go on, it seems like he gets better. I you know I think Finland's problem will probably end up being the United States problem if these two teams play for gold, which is that they'll play with timidity towards Canada and deference towards Canada because they don't want to make mistakes that end up in the back of your net against Canada. When what these teams should do is put the pedal down. Like Finland played real well 5-on-5 in stretches for this game, and then decided to try to shell it out in the second period, which was a mistake.
I want to get to
that power plays will happen and Canada will score on them.
I want to get to USA here because I was mentioning this during the women's game yesterday with Irfan Ghaffar. He was doing the watch along with Anne-Sophie Bate and Madison Packer. One of the things that has come sort of clear here, and we'll see if it ends up Canada versus the United States for the gold medal. We still have a Slovakia game here coming up not too long from now. But what, interestingly enough, and Mike Johnson mentioned this during the broadcast, and I'll actually take it one step further because there's something that I'm really wondering about here with the Florida Panthers. Does it seem like Brad Marchand is playing? Hang on, watch. Does it seem like Brad Marchand is playing right now like this is the last hockey he's going to play this season?
Like he'll get shut down when he gets done?
That's what it feels like to me.
I mean, there was some talk before the Olympics of there being a dozen guys that might get shut down when this tournament's over.
I'm watching Brad Marchand today, and I'm like, he's playing like this might be his last time to play all season long. And but make no mistake about it, that was Brad Marchand's best game of the tournament, full stop, hands down. And playing on a line with Bennett and Tom Wilson, but he's playing like that's it. Like I'm gonna get shut down at the end of the year. He's like leaving everything out there every single shift.
I feel like you're saying this with some level of insider intel because all these guys are playing like it's their last game of the season. It's the Olympics. They're trying to win a gold medal, for God's sakes. By the way, I should say that that even though it was yet another gift from the officials in this game, I didn't really have a problem with the Marchand falling on Saros bit before the goal
before the Theodore
Canada
goal
scored. Before the Theodore goal. I mean, if you.
He's pushed by Holla.
Saros had plenty of time to reset. Was I was going to say after Marchand fell on him, a lot of net crashing today from the Canadians. Something to look forward to in the gold medal game.
Well, we'll see how the Slovaks hold up. I mean, that Nemish-Fehervary pair has been outstanding. We'll see how they handle all the net crashing of Canada on Sunday morning, Greg.
Well, I just hope that the refs are keeping a kayfabe and booking this thing to have Canada and the U.S. play. I mean, that's what we all want to see, right? So, if you're gonna, what's good for the Canadian geese is good for the American gander, I suppose.
Nathan MacKinnon gets it done at the end with the short side goal. What did you make of the offside challenge at the end? Just to add a little bit of spice to all of this thing.
Hail Mary.
Of course it was. But it's close enough that you have to do it. It's close enough.
It was
that the Finnish coach has to do it.
Like Celebrini's onside by an inch of skate blade, so it wasn't a bad challenge, especially at that point in the game, and especially knowing you're probably not going to come back and score against the Canadians. So I had no problem with that. I thought it was a good Hail Mary to make. Certainly a better Hail Mary to make than if they had tried to challenge the goalie interference earlier in the game, which I think wouldn't have stood up at all, like I just said. No, that was very fortunate for the Canadians because they were, again, it's a game of inches. Look. You guys know I'm a little crabby right now, and I gotta be honest.
Yeah, you are crabby.
It's not just the officiating which gifted Canada this win. It's the fact that I really thought for 2 games running now I was going to be rid of
took
you
the
guys.
slap shot. Eric Furlat took the slap shot. Dan O'Rourke fed the pass to Nathan MacKinnon. What are we talking about here?
I really thought after Czechia was allowed to play with 6 guys that they were going to be rid of you guys. I really thought the Finns were going to shut this thing down and find a way to get a third goal in the third period. I thought they were going to get rid of you guys. But now it's like Thanos in the Avengers movie. It's like I got to do it myself. I got to go find all the stones myself. I can't rely on anybody else. And the Americans are going to have to be the ones to take out the Canadians.
Listen, I think like a lot of Canadians, this was the game that we expected against Finland, and for the longest time too, it was. And we kind of saw this year specifically in the World Juniors with Canada, and that is. Wanting to play a skill game from the outside, wanting to play a skill game from the perimeter, and Finland were saying like, well, we've always been a dirt under the fingernails kind of team. That's the kind of game we're going to play. So surprise, surprise, Finland jumps out to the lead and is opportunistic. And I'm texting with someone. It's like, are we seeing like the World Juniors from Minnesota 2.0? where Canada just wants to like make pretty plays on the outside and take shots and look at our skill. And did you see that toe drag? Meanwhile, the Finns are like, that may have worked in the preliminary round, but like we're in Capital City now, not in Springfield anymore. This is how you have to play in elimination games.
Yeah.
That's the way it felt to me. Yeah. I think it's the way it felt to a lot of people.
You could make the argument that Canadian women played more of a medal round style than the Canadian men played in the last 2 games. You know what? In the grand scheme of alternate realities,
oh boy,
does Finland play for gold if Barkov's in this game?
I was wondering about that too, but is that not offset by saying, well, does it get that far if Sidney Crosby's in the lineup? Like, does the
that's what I'm saying. Like
the absence of Crosby, does that wash? Well, they didn't have Barkov.
The absence of Crosby would have meant that Barkov probably gets McDavid right as an assignment, and as history has shown, Barkov can do a decent job against McDavid, and I wonder if things would have been different. But again, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, as they say, good shout out to Finland for really giving them a scare, for playing well. I mean, you know, as expected, they went into a shell, and that was probably a mistake. But that's kind of what you figured.
That's
Finland
what they do. But that's what they do.
Yeah, and at the end of the day,
and then they wait, and then next thing you know, Eric Hall is scoring a shorthanded goal, and we're all tied up. And sorry, it's 2-0 Finland at that point, and all tied up. It's 2-0 Finland at that point, and we're all saying, this one is poised for disaster. The Finns are just going to wait and capitalize on their opportunities and play a really ugly kind of game. Like, let's not make any bones about it. Much like we saw yesterday in the first period specifically between Canada and the USA in the gold medal women's game. That was an ugly first period because Canada knows if they're going to beat the United States with those wheels, they're going to have to ugly it up. And they did in the first period. It was a painful period to watch, just like a good balance of this one. It was just like, keep trying again, same thing, try again, regroup, try again. And eventually Lundell scores Haula scores on the shorthanded situation, and it's 2-0. And all of a sudden, everyone's really, really tight on the Canadian bench. But it's always that goal towards the end of a period that kills you, and that's where the Reinhart, like, it wasn't deliberate. He was like turning. He wasn't even looking at the shot. Although I will make the point though that, and I've made this countless times, either on the program or on one of our post game shows now. Tips now, all like you look at players in front of the net, they all have their stick hip height, right? And defensemen shoot at the hips now because the puck could go up, the puck could go down. The goalie doesn't know. I think that was just Cale Makar. Like, honestly, it wasn't a tip by Sam Reinhart as much as it was Cale Makar shooting at Reinhardt's stick.
Shooting high.
That's the way it felt to me.
I mean, if I had to pick one, Makar targeting the stick or Reinhart knowing where his stick was, I'm probably picking Makar targeting the stick.
Yes. Yeah, it's
if I may pay Canada a compliment for their play in the third period, unrelated to embellishment or anything like that. I thought Finland played the third period hoping for some level of turnover in the neutral zone or at the top of the offensive zone that would allow them to transition and get chances. And they were looking for something and waiting for something and waiting for something. Canada did a really, really good job handling the puck, protecting the puck, completing their passes, good zone entries. Like, they didn't. We've all seen the Finns do this for years. Like they're pickpockets. Like they like to go and steal the puck and go down the ice and get a 2-on-1, and all of a sudden Aho scores. And the Canadians did a really good job of not allowing that to happen in the third period because that would have been the path to a third goal for Finland.
There was one moment there. I want to get to Tyler Yaremchuk here in a second on this after this point. There was one play though, because I'm with you. Like, in a game like that, unless you're the Sedins, who are the masters of using high ice. Nobody used high ice in the NHL better than the Sedins did, just to lure you out there and then boom, cheese in the trap, and they're gone. There was one moment where Mark Stone almost got caught because he didn't have a lane to go down, so he cut across, and it was in the middle. And I went, oh, this has high ice disaster written all over it. But it's Mark Stone, and he uses his body to shade. But if it's maybe another player, that is exactly what you're talking about, and that high ice play gets picked off, and it's Finland going back the other way.
Is Mark Stone okay, by the way? He had an egregious turnover in the Czech game too.
Yeah, I think that pace at a tournament like this is not the friend of Mark Stone.
Good point.
And I think that normally leads to turnovers. Like, look, he's not the most fleet of foot, but get him either like Stone exists in two very distinct places, kind of like John Tavares in some ways. He's great on the boards and he's great in front of the net, but open ice is not his friend. Open ice is not Mark Stone's friend. Like, that's when I saw Stone go to the middle in the offensive zone. I'm thinking to myself, that's not a Mark Stone place on the ice. Because put it this way, if it turns over, is Mark Stone going to catch Eric Halla, Sebastian Aho, whomever grabs the puck at that moment? Not a chance. That's why high ice in the middle is not Stone's friend.
The good news for Canada is that if he can't catch them, he can just hook them. Like Taves did to Necas at the end of the Czech Canada game.
Oh, where he barely touched him, didn't come anywhere near his hands, and Necas got a clean shot off on Binnington that he stopped. You mean that play right there? Hang on, let's go back and figure out. So the referees in that game, one was Swedish and one was American, and we're gonna try to make this like right. So we're gonna make a controversy there over Devon Chase giving chase to Martin Necas. Let's get
maybe the American is sympathetic towards Canada and wants to see the best final he can see, and that doesn't involve the Czechs.
Sleeper agent, clearly. No, if there's a sleeper agent in this tournament, Greg, you know who the sleeper agent in this tournament is? Radko Gudas. That's the American sleeper agent. It's not an official. It's Radko Gudas is the sleeper agent. Tyler, thanks so much for hanging on and coming aboard as always here on the post-game program. Wide brush thoughts on this one. Greg is up on the grassy knoll. He's there with the president talking about UFOs and conspiracies, and there's aliens amongst us. And how did you see this game?
I mean, Liz, if you've played hockey at an outdoor rink and a stick comes within an eyelash of your face, your natural reaction is to be like, whoa, that's about to hit me in the eye. So any sort of embellishment is insane. Like, natural movement to be like something just swung and hit me in the mouth.
Natural. Yeah, so natural. No embellishment whatsoever. He's just and obviously the referee knew exactly what happened. As soon as the stick hit MacKinnon's face, his arm was up. It wasn't moments later when he saw MacKinnon react that he made the call. Eagle eyes on these officials during this game. Pretty amazing.
Eagle eyes on these officials.
Right, so right at the end of the game.
Let's drag the whole conversation into a referee bias. Let me start off with Tyler. Since Canadians have spent the majority of the last few months arguing that Austin Matthews shouldn't wear the C, should MacKinnon have gotten the C instead of McDavid in this game?
No. I mean, I think the kind of letters at tournaments like this are kind of overblown anyways in that whole conversation. Like, I think the leaders in the room are the leaders in the room, and the letters are just kind of, I don't want to say for vanity, but like that's kind of what it feels like sometimes. Like, I don't know if this game's going into overtime. Do you think it's McDavid stepping up and saying something like, yeah, okay, probably. It's definitely Sid, but there's probably a Marchand and a Doughty too. And for USA, like, just because Matthews wearing the C, do you think JT Miller just zips and is like, not my team, I won't say much? Like, I think it's all kind of...
I just thought a guy who actually has won something in the NHL and then comes up and scores the game-winning goal in a semifinal in the Olympics should maybe wear this captaincy. But no, I understand what Canada is. That's a whole thing.
The game-winning goal, like the game-winning goal at the Four Nations. Refresh my memory. I'm getting a little bit older. Who scored that one?
I mean, I tend to put more value on the Olympics than a prefab tournament made up because they couldn't figure out how to put Russia in the World Cup. But that's just me. I mean, I don't know. That's just me talking here.
I don't want to turn this into Yaremchuk versus Wyshynski, and
Why
I know
not? Go
that
for it.
You're poking me with a little bit of older stuff.
I'm just happy here to chill out. Maybe
you made a comment earlier about how like Alexander Barkov is like he would have shut down Connor McDavid with ease, and like didn't Connor McDavid set records in those cup finals? Like, let's not pretend like Barkov shutting down McDavid was the reason Florida won cups. But again, I don't want to turn this into like an Edmonton whatever.
Line matching does happen in certain cities when you're on the road, and I may believe the Edmonton Oilers probably had a power play or two, but no, I think Barkov makes a huge difference in this game, especially with Sid out of the lineup.
No, he totally does. And the one way where I'll actually like lean with you a little bit on that is like Sid not being out for Canada, huge, but like Sid was playing. I mean, it's so dumb to even say this line. Sid was playing as the third line center. Barkov would have been 1C, every important draw. Like I think you can easily make the argument that injury is the most significant injury that could have possibly happened to any team coming into the tournament. I think now you probably look at it, like, Canada would be in trouble without 97. But yeah, I mean, it's significant that there's no Barkov in this tournament. And I think it's full credit to them for like, never mind pushing Canada in this game, but like making it this far without Barkov is just wildly impressive for them.
Outside of us losing Seth Jones, yeah, I think you're right. It's probably Barkov.
I don't even have anything to say to that.
You know
Jeff.
what?
We can
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like, okay, so Canada's through, so someone's nervous now. So someone's nervous that they gotta play Slovakia. And...
Hey, listen. Remember what I said before the tournament? I thought Germany was going to beat Slovakia. I picked them to beat Slovakia in my picks on ESPN.com because I thought the Americans would have to play Finland. The toughest road was Sweden-Finland. So I mean, Canada's road through Finland exponentially tougher than the Americans' road through Slovakia. I'm not saying that they're going to beat Slovakia today. I think the fact that they're playing a team with like a dozen guys who all won the bronze medal together, like they play cohesive and they have chemistry and they play tough. And if the goalie plays as well as he's played in the tournament, the Americans could be in trouble. But by no means do I think the United States had a tougher semifinal matchup than the Canadians did.
Here's the thing that I think now, and this is one for like, not to sound like arrogant or smug, like, but for newer hockey fans are understanding now, hold on, that players play differently when it's for their country than it does when they're in the NHL. And case in point in this game that we just saw, Erik Haula, who by the way has the best nickname in the NHL, I think it's self-given, and that is Hall of Fama. But he was excellent again. It's the best nickname in the league. It's the best nickname. But like something, and that's the thing that makes tournaments like this so dynamic. They are different. Look how good, sorry, New Jersey Devils fans, although he looks like you're getting a really good one here. Look how good Simon Nemec looks with Martin Fehervary. Look how good Fehervary looks. Does he look that good when he plays with the Capitals? Does Nemec look that good? Well, maybe at times, but consistently when he plays with the New Jersey Devils, Nemec is one of the top 3 defensemen in this tournament. Something happens.
And you can make the argument he went as high as he did in the draft because of how he played in the Olympics.
Olympics.
Like he just, exactly.
Okay, what are you taking away from this one, Tyler? I mean, eyes on Sunday morning now, bright and early Canada. Either keep your Saturday night going or get a good night's sleep. Make your choice, choose your fighter. What do you take away from this one for Canada? And I think the big question is, are we thinking that Crosby's in on Sunday or not?
I mean, everything you're kind of hearing. I know Elliot had the report that they were searching around for a custom brace and they're doing everything humanly possible. Like, again, without being in the room, I think my assumption is like they're going to find a way to get him on the ice. They now have an extra couple of days here or whatever you'd call it, 36 hours before the gold medal game. I'm not great at time. But I think they're going to do everything possible. And my bet would be that he's in just from the fact that it sounds like he got relatively close in for this one. So the Crosby storyline is absolutely huge. My big takeaway, though, is that there were some other parts of this lineup that John Cooper really started to trust. And not that the best coach in the NHL needs me to heap praise on him or anything like that, or that it's unexpected that he's making the right calls. But like I tweeted when Sam Bennett took that penalty, and listen, that's me being emotional, but it's like, shouldn't see the ice the rest of the game.
That was a lot of that.
He saw the ice a ton
There's
in
a
that
lot
hockey
of that.
game. Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Great.
But he goes out
you're
there,
right.
and
that
line was awesome.
That line with Bennett and Marchand and Tom Wilson got tons of love. Tons of love. I mean, listen, every chance he got, and you can understand why, every chance he got, he was firing out MacKinnon, McDavid, and Macklin Celebrini. By the way, when's the last time you saw, and I understand why, like UC Saros is a small goaltender and Canada's going to be shooting high at every opportunity, specifically after slot line passes where the goalie's going down. But if you see a goalie hitting the head that much, as UC Saros was today, what do you take, like 3 or 4 off the mask today? Canada was just firing everything high.
Only other time might have been Henrik Lundqvist, but he does that on purpose. Like he tries to head the puck on purpose. Might have been the only other time I've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely like point to the pre-scout, right? Like Saros is so good at taking away the bottom of the net. Ironic because of how the MacKinnon goal went in, I know, but like so good at taking away the bottom of the net. And when a guy's also playing that well, I think you're kind of praying for a bounce as well. Like there was that one look in the third period where I think it was Wilson, who threw it in front, and Bennett was there, and he was just trying to bank it in off the guy. Like that was not a shot attempt. That was not a pass attempt. That was a pray we get a lucky bounce here at some point attempt, because I think Saros was honestly on that level. Like my first thought when Canada went down 2-0 was like, man, getting 3 on this guy tonight is going to be very, very difficult.
Me too.
Sorry, Greg, do you have something I want to ask about Rantanen here?
I want to ask Tyler, I don't know if you know this, but I'm an American.
Shocking. It's very pronounced this time of year, by the way, Tyler. I've known this
Crosby's
guy going back
obviously
to 2008.
Crosby's obviously going to play in the gold medal game, and as much as I think the Americans could beat the Canadians. There's also a thought in my head that this is just like the entire Eastern Conference waiting for Jordan to retire. Like, we cannot beat Canada in the Olympics as long as Sidney Crosby is on the ice for the Canadians. So there is a part of me that fully expects him to play, and there's a part of me that expects him to get probably the assist on the game winner. Would you be shocked if he doesn't play?
No, because I don't think Sidney Crosby is so selfish as to sit there and say, if I can't go, I'm going to force myself to sit on the bench. And I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to sit there and say, if I can't give it my all and actually help this team win, I'm going to step aside and let someone else do it. Similar to what a Braden Point did before this tournament. And Greg, I am well aware you're American, so you'll probably understand this. But like MacKinnon in the Four Nations final, man, if he does the selfless thing and sits for Kyle Connor, maybe a one-shot score makes a difference.
Waiting.
No,
As soon as you wound that one up, I'm like, oh, Tyler with the shot at MacKinnon. I'm gonna play.
I like that, Tyler.
Period.
I like the cut of your jib, Tyler.
The Mikko Rantanen goal. When you guys saw that one, because it could go either way. First of all, it's Mikko Rantanen. He's got one of the best shots in the NHL, one of the best players in the league. But did you look at that one and say, great shot, or Binnington's got to have that?
I said great shot, and part of that is because I've decided to officially retire from hating Jordan Binnington. As much fun as I've had doing it over the last 12 to 18 months, at some point, the evidence stacks up against you if you're in the anti-Jordan Binnington camp. Like overtime against USA, check. Overtime against Czechia, check. And then even today, like that third period, there were looks, man. The Finns very easily could have scored. And a third goal probably seals it all up, especially if it comes, before Canada goes up 3-2, obviously. But like a third goal seals that thing up. And I think Jordan Binnington's been great all tournament. So I'm not going to nitpick a Mikko Rantanen shot off a face-off with the puck rolling. To me, that's similar to the Pasternak goal where like rolling puck chaos in front of him. I'm not going to rip the guy too hard for that one. Like, again, does an A-plus goalie of a Connor Hellebuyck, if you will, stop it? Yes. Canada doesn't have that, so I'm not going to sit here and try to, yell at Jordan Binnington and try to make him something he's not.
You can't fault him on either of the goals. And like you said, he played well in the third period. So it's.
But here's
I'm with you. Listen, man. I'm feasting in the dining car of the Binnington hate train, just like you. And I'm a little perturbed by how well he's playing in this tournament, if I'm being honest. I was really hoping that if Canada made the gold medal game, there'd at least be some debate about Logan Thompson playing, just to create a little bit of mystery or chaos. And instead, it's like we may have solved our goaltending problem because Jordan Binnington doesn't stink.
Listen, I'm not going to knock Jordan Binnington. He has made good saves, but the only thing, and boy, am I going to get nitpicky on this one, because you might make the argument that, well, Jordan Binnington doesn't have to make spectacular saves. They don't need Jordan Binnington to make spectacular. They just need someone to stop the puck, because that's Canada with like that arsenal that they have in front of them. Good. But that's it, right? Like that's what you're saying about Jordan Binnington, but he hasn't, and maybe it's because he hasn't had to. But I get it. Like when you say, like, oh man, the Rantanen shot's great, no chance. Oh, you know what? The Hollis shorthanded goal. You know what? It's a great move. He's in clean. Like he had no chance on that one. Like those are the moments where, what's the old Jim Collins saying? Good is the enemy of great. Like that's the moment. Like you make those saves, and then you start saying, you know what? This is a great goaltender. And again, you make the argument Canada doesn't need a great goaltender, but if good is the enemy of great, then still you say Jordan Binnington has been good. Nothing wrong with that. And maybe that's all Canada needs. But that's where I'm at with the conversation about Jordan Binnington. He's good. He's good.
And my thing, like, Canada maybe doesn't need a great goalie, sure. Like, my thing now is just, like, Canada doesn't have one. Like, Logan Thompson, again, great with the Washington Capitals. I do think he's a very good goalie, all that. He looked shaky in his one game. Like, if you were to hold up the first two preliminary round starts and say, who gives you more confidence? It was very, very clearly Jordan Binnington from those two games. So, again, I just feel like complaining about it at this point. He is what he is. He's going to make big stops. He's shown us time and time and now time again that he can do it. And, yeah, I mean, he's not going to make every big save, but I think we kind of know now that if the game's tied, he's not letting in that last one.
First off, I have been sanctioned by GM Bill Guerin to put and keep Jake Ottinger for Macklin Celebrini on the table as a trade possibility before the gold medal game. But like here, Tyler, assuming the Americans don't get Samuel Hellebuyck in this game, which they could, what is the part of Team USA that you've seen so far in these Olympics that worries you the most in the matchup against Canada?
I think it again goes back to the strengths I viewed from the start of the tournament. It's like they're puck moving and the way their defense should be able to pretty cleanly get out of the zone and not give Canada the second and sort of third opportunities to generate a sustained ozone pressure or attack, I should say. And then it's Connor Hellebuyck too. Like you don't know if Connor Hellebuyck's just going to wake up and be like, well, today I'm not giving up any goals. And I think he's more capable of being on that level than obviously any other goaltender. But I look back at like that Nick Suzuki goal that tied it up against Czechia where he carries it in, chips it in, goes and gets a loose puck. It's like a second and a third chance where Czechia's blue line couldn't get it away from him, couldn't get it out of the zone, and boom, it's tied up. I don't think the American blue line is going to make those kinds of mistakes. I think if you have a play like that against the States, it's going to be Werenski, McAvoy, Hughes, whoever picks it up, bing, bang, out of the zone, back the other way. So my concern is the puck moving won't allow Canada to get a lot of second and third chances, if you will.
Tyler, you got a punt.
Sounds awesome. Everything you said just sounds awesome, by the way.
That was just some catnip for Greg getting ready for this game that's going to start here in just over an hour. Tee up Oilers Nation every day. We got a healthy audience here that should probably know about you and your program.
Yeah, me and Liam will break down the game to kick things off a little bit, and then Steve Peters, our good friend from Inside the Coaches Room in ESPN, he'll swing by, and he'll give us a little bit of a breakdown, not just on what he saw in the Canada game, but what to look forward to in USA Slovakia. Then we'll do maybe like a little too early preview of what we all think or assume will be the gold medal matchup. So honestly, not a lot of Oilers talk at Oilers Nation these days. Everyone just wants to talk more about Team Canada and Connor McDavid. We haven't said this yet. There's the record for points in an Olympics with NHL participation. Big one for 97 again today.
Yeah, and
shout out to the person in the Oilers Nation comments that'll be screaming about how you should talk more about Paul Coffey as you try to
on this day. What does the return of Paul Coffey mean?
Our comment section right now is basically like Canada, then like 6 people being like, they didn't take Bouchard, and it's like, yes, we know they didn't take Bouchard. We've covered it extensively. It's all good. And then someone will be like, I don't care about Canada. Can they get Nick Perbix? And it's like, what? We're not talking about that right now.
They don't need Bouchard. They've got Shea Theodore shooting from the point. They don't need Evan. Listen. There's a couple of defensemen I would take. I would take Evan Bouchard over in this one. I think I've mentioned this on your program a couple of different times. Tyler, great stuff. Best to Liam. Thanks as always. And Tyler, I guess we'll be talking again Sunday morning, bright and early. Canada versus either the United States or Slovakia. We will stay tuned for that one. Thanks, pal.
Sunday morning. See ya.
All right, Tyler back Sunday morning here for our post-game program after Canada versus either USA or Slovakia. By the way, if you are new to the channel joining us right now, please consider subscribing. If you already have, we thank you. If you haven't, please consider doing so. You can have more arguments or see more arguments or hear more arguments with me and Greg about Canada versus USA. Let me make one quick point about USA. And this goes back to, I was having a conversation with someone about this 2 days ago, as a matter of fact. This is after USA beat Sweden on a gorgeous play by Quinn Hughes, who was all world on that one. So the conversation revolved around this. Why is USA so uncomfortable not being an underdog? And I know that the fumes of 1980 still exist. Like USA is very, and this is on the men's side, this is on the women's side. The women yesterday, like, it looked like they were uncomfortable being that heavy favorites against Canada. We see this consistently in international hockey, where USA has been a powerhouse for a long time, but really seem uncomfortable embracing it. Is it just the we want to be the us versus the world Miracle on Ice crew, Jim Craig and Mike Rugioni and Kenny Morrow and all those guys? Or like, what is it? It's like USA sometimes can't get out of its own way because they refuse to embrace that they're really good and they're really here and they belong here. It's like USA is so uncomfortable with that.
Usually my answer to this is Canada. Like, I mean, the Americans played the way they played yesterday in the women's gold medal game because they're playing Canada. And Canada gets a 1-0 lead. Already before that, the U.S. was gripping their sticks. There's probably a little bit of young players in the moment of winning gold and all that other stuff. But again, it's like they look across the ice and they see that jersey and they start losing their minds.
But hang on a second. But hang on, pause on that for 1 second. Because they've dusted Canada all year. World Championships, rivalry series, round robin. Like, why? Why the nervousness? Like, why they?
Well,
I don't buy that it's a Canada
against a country that wins all the gold medals, save for like once. since 1998, and Poulin is still on the team, and all these other players are still on the team, and the moment is overwhelming when you realize your opponent is Canada and when Canada scores first. But so that's usually my answer, and hopefully won't be my answer after the gold medal game if the U.S. decides to try to win 1-0. But the way that they play it against Sweden, for a lot of that game, is sort of indicative of what you're talking about, where they feel like they need to be blue collar and hunker down and not put the pedal down and attack in waves like they can.
Go embrace it. Go embrace it. Honestly,
I use the word
get
before.
after it.
They play with timidity, and I don't know what that is. Because they've done it all the time. Like in Sochi, I've complained about this for 12 years. Like in Sochi, they were beating the living crap out of other teams, and then they played Canada and they tried to win 1-0. And against Sweden, like they were able to muster. I mean, Jacob Marchand played pretty well, but they were only able to muster one goal, and it almost bit him in the ass. So like, I don't know what it is. I do think that the red, white, and blue pilling of the Miracle on Ice has infected the way they build these teams. Maybe it's infected the way they coach these teams. I don't know, but you're right. I mean, it isn't a situation where, in the third period against an opponent that maybe is from a more prestigious hockey country than the United States, you ever see the U.S. outshoot them 22-2. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't happen.
I wonder if we're on the verge of that. Like, again, we'll see what happens here. We got the game against Slovakia, the game against Canada on Sunday. But if it gets there for USA, Canada, and USA wins, I'm curious about like how long it takes until you get rid of that little brother or little sister vibe. Like USA's been really good for a really long time and produced like Hall of Fame players and elite level teams, but just refuse to embrace it at all. And I really do think it's the love affair. And listen, my country's in love with 72 still. It's the love affair with 1980. And we're the underdog. We're the underdog. We're the underdog. And can you get great with that mentality? Like, USA should be dusting teams. When you look at the players, look at the infrastructure, look at the money, look at the development, like all the registrations, like all of it. USA should be at every single tournament, whether it's U18, U20, Olympics, Four Nations, whatever, should be dusting teams by now. And I just think part of it is the mentality of we love being the underdog that holds them back. I wonder how much a win in this tournament starts to change that. Because I feel like on the women's side, they have the lineup and the roster now for the next 10 years to do that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and there's a difference. I mean, I think the men's game is certainly much more than two countries, which I think has been the case in the women's game since 98, save for that one medal that Sweden won. And in the Americans' case, Canada is still a formidable hockey nation. As much as you guys, hand-wring about, the quality of the goaltending or how many defensemen you should have or whatever, like, you're still the country that has produced, Sidney Crosby begot Connor McDavid, begot Macklin Celebrini. And so I don't disagree with you. I think the women's side is at a tipping point. When you start, we've always talked about, you and I, the expansion, era in the NHL.
Yep.
Hockey teams coming to non-traditional markets. You combine that with the USA talent pipeline, their development programs, the work that they've done to grow women's hockey in particular. And you start to see Layla Edwards and a player like Carolyn Harvey, who looks like Cale Makar out there. And the level of talent that is now playing women's hockey in the United States, this could be sustainable. Like, it's going to be I know women's hockey talent is cyclical and you have to say goodbye to players. Like, it's weird. Yeah. It was weird not seeing Wickenheiser, just like it was weird not seeing Julie Chu. And it's going to be weird that we're never again getting an Olympic game with Hilary Knight and Marie-Philippe Poulin on the ice together. Like, that's weird.
There are some, by the way,
the young wave of talent on the Americans, and you look at the where the talent is on the Canadian side right now. I don't disagree. Like, the next 10 years could be 10 years of American dominance in women's hockey.
It really could. By the way, there are some who aren't 100% sure that this is it for Marie-Philippe Poulin. Hilary Knight has already announced that she's done, obviously, which is great to watch her with the smiles and the gold and all that. That's great moment for Hilary Knight. But there are some that believe that she may come back for one more cycle. Now, I do think that like the Natalie Spooners are done. I do wonder about, Renata Fast. There's someone
Kendall
on the Canadian
Coyne's probably
roster.
done too for
Kendall
us.
Coyne's probably done as well. Like there is going to be that turnover. And for Canada, like, listen, it's impossible not to love, watching Harvey skate. Like, good Lord. But here comes Chloe Primorano as well. So like there's just not the volume on the Canadian side. So I do think that there is going to be some turnover here from the Canadian dominance to more on the American side.
I want to pause on Knight for a second, because I really loved the story that tying goal told. Layla Edwards took a lot of grief online.
Straight leg back check
for her defense and her back checking on that Canadian goal. Rightly or wrongly. It felt like there might have been a little bit too much grief given to Layla Edwards. But she gets the assist on the Knight goal. And for those who don't know, like, even though there's like a 14-year gap between the two, like, they're tight. And also Layla Edwards was inspired to play hockey by Hilary Knight. She used to wear Knight's number as a youth player. So the idea that this thing comes full circle, where someone who idolized Hilary Knight gets the assist on the game tying goal in the gold medal game, is just like, it's one of those just picture perfect Olympic moments.
Let me go back to something you said a second ago before we started talking about this, and that is non-traditional hockey markets and players coming from all over now. Like, the NHL is going to expand again. They are going to go back to Atlanta. They are going to go to Houston. There's a promise there to go back to Arizona. I really do feel kind of like when there's a developer who buys a tract of land and develops a part of the sort of the promised performance for getting all the licenses to do it and the land rights. You promise, like, and we're also going to build like a park for the kids, and we're going to build a swimming pool for the community, right? I've always believed that part of the part of the contingency for getting an NHL franchise is earmarking, like Nashville did a great job of this, by the way, earmarking money for minor/youth hockey. And that kind of development, like it services those markets well. But two, it goes to answering a question about like how good can hockey players actually be. And I heard it's interesting too. There's only one sport where you really know who the best is in the world. And we see that I have this conversation around the Olympics all the time. There's only one sport where you can say absolutely that this person is the best. And that's running. Because everybody at a certain point in their life can determine whether they're a good runner or not. Like, okay, am I really a good runner? Like, because everybody can do it and everybody does do it. Everybody has the opportunity to do it. I've always maintained we really don't know who the best player ever was, because maybe the best player who ever could have existed never had an opportunity to put on skates or to pick up a hockey stick. Everyone can run. And that's why I look at whoever, like, whether you want to judge it based on the 100 or a different distance or whatever, we can say that definitely is the best person. But for a sport like hockey, we'll probably never know. But as new markets grow and more people pick up hockey sticks, we'll at least get a little bit closer to an answer. And I do want to shout out Nashville on this one, because that's the one thing. Like, when Nashville got a franchise, one of the first things they did, the youth hockey program. And now that thing is humming, and it's been humming for a long time. And there's tournaments there all the time where kids from like Toronto go, and Montreal, like all over the United States go as well. So I always think that it's part of and both on the boys and girls side of the puck too. Anyway, my little rant.
And let's not discount the fact that the greatest rivalry in sports, USA Canada women, then led to us getting a professional women's hockey league that is thriving in many ways right now, and thriving in ways that certainly its precursors didn't thrive. And that's going to go a long way towards people picking up sticks that maybe never picked one up before. Like, you can't. I still remember taking my daughter to an NWHL game, to speak of precursors.
Oh wow!
And just like how mind blowing it was for her to see women out there doing this. In fact, our friend Madison Packer actually got into a fight at the end of the game, which really, really struck a chord with Vivian. But you can't discount just like the importance of that entry point. And now on top of that, the importance of having players who look like Layla Edwards taking part in it, and skate like Carolyn Harvey taking part in it, and just being inspired to want to be like those players, and knowing that there's a pathway to be like those players.
I want to to get to USA Slovakia, but one final point on that, because you mentioned the PWHL. Now the challenge is for that league to make a star, right? Because stars in women's hockey are still made at the Olympics. Everybody knows Abby Murphy now because of sure, the hardcores do, University of Minnesota. I get it, right? But like from the casual fans' point of view, everybody knows Abby Murphy now. Everyone knows Carolyn Harvey now. Everybody knows Leila Edwards now because of the Olympics. The challenge for the PWHL is, can they make a star? Because right now the Olympics.
Well, I mean, I've been told that Abby Murphy's a star. She's actually a two-sport athlete. She'll be on the USA diving team, from what I've been told by Canadian fans in the next Summer Olympics. No, you're absolutely right.
Not exactly a controversial statement.
No, it's not. I've covered a lot of women's sports leagues over the years that have kind of come and go, and I do remember, the in the aftermath of the U.S. winning the Women's World Cup, them trying to start the WUSA with like Mia Hamm and Brandi Chastain and all those players, and it's one thing to have the most famous athletes in the world in a women's sport come and play in your league, but you're absolutely right. The thing that sustains those leagues is creating your own stars. And that's you're absolutely right. That's the challenge, along with smart expansion, the challenge for the PWHL.
Okay. USA Slovakia next on the docket here. How do you look at this game coming off the US win against Sweden, where Quinn Hughes, I can't say it enough, and I keep stepping over my tongue when I try to say it too fast. Quinn Hughes, looking at ghosts and scoring goals.
Again, like I just want them to put the pedal down. I don't want them to. Play down to your competition is a rude thing to say when you're in the Olympic semifinals, but there's no question that the Americans have more talent on this roster from an offensive perspective than Slovakia does. And so you've got to flex that early, and don't let them get comfortable. The Americans, if there's been one through line in this tournament, it's been slow starts for the Americans. Which is something.
Did you see Canada's game today? Did you see Canada's game today, Greg? Are you familiar with what happened with Kazakhstan?
The U.S. was doing it against Latvia and Denmark too, and so don't give him oxygen. Just snuff him out. Get a 2-0 lead in the first period. Don't let Hellebuyck start feeling good about himself. Don't wait until Slafkovsky scores his 11th goal in 12 Olympic games.
Good
Just
Lord,
like
I know.
Know where the prize is. The prize is now ahead of you. Canada's right there looking at it, and just get there as quickly and as efficiently as possible.
What are we getting here? Finland's Joella Armia. This tweeted out by our friend Molly Walker. This from Joella Armia. Quote, 5-on-5, they got one goal. That was goalie interference. Wow.
It wasn't Armia, but I will read the next one from a Hockey Hall of Famer, Teemu Selänne. Beating greatest hockey country in the world and Canadian referees same night is impossible, I guess. Absolutely embarrassing penalty. 90 seconds to go in Olympic semifinal. What a joke. Angry emoji face. Teemu Selänne, I salute you, sir. You are completely right in your assessment. A farce, a joke, a pox on this tournament. When Sidney Crosby is looking down at that Olympic gold medal around his neck, the Canadian flag flapping behind him as he skates, celebrating a victory against the Americans in the gold medal game. Keep in mind that this tournament is tainted.
Again, another American, Greg Wyshynski, looking to position themselves as the underdog. We're not playing against one team. We're playing against two. We're playing against the officials. Herb Brooks may no longer be sharing oxygen with us, and the hockey world is poorer for his absence. But his spirit is still very much alive through every single American player and hockey fan I know. Just dying to be the underdog. Embrace that you're good, and go out and show Slovakia, and go show Slovakia.
I haven't seen any post-game interviews with MacKinnon yet. I don't know if he had a chance to count how many lights there were in the ceiling when he went up and stared at them
he was
egregiously.
Al Snow? He was Al Snow style. What was that? What was that club? The Al Snow Jobber Club. Was it Jobber Club or something like that?
So
Job
I'm
Squad.
so
Job
happy
Squad.
Scott-
That was it. Job Squad.
Job
Remember Job
Squad.
Squad? Job Squad. I'll know.
I do remember Job
Count the
Squad
lights.
because they fashioned their logo to look like
Selling-
the NWO. I'm so
selling,
happy Selänne said what he said. More people should be saying it. How Canada was gifted a win in a tough semifinal against what might have been a better opponent. I don't know, and somehow lucked their way into a gold medal game, hopefully against the United States. But the world is watching. American hockey fans understand that it is now on our team to take care of the problem that is Canada in this tournament. And God willing, we get past Slovakia and play Canada for gold. I also want to say this because this has come up a few times in the banter. It's all
do we have a seance and bring in Herb Brooks? You sounded just like Herbie there. This is our time.
It's all friendly banter.
This is our
when
time.
I talk about Canada, I'm talking about Canadian hockey. Probably also talking about Canadian hockey media, but mostly about Canadian hockey. I'm not talking about the country itself. I love Canada. I love being in Canada. I wish I went to Canada more. And I feel terrible that the current conditions between our two nations make friendly banter and trash talking difficult at times,
that's the thing that
based
really
on my
sucks.
mentions.
Yeah,
and I wish it were different. But just let it be known that when I mention Canada, I am simply talking about its hockey apparatus and not the country itself, where I love it and spent many hours there and many days there, and added up probably a year there. I love Canada.
And apparently,
it's not its hockey.
According to Greg Wyshynski, every official coming out of Canada is essentially, and a lot of people in the audience will appreciate this, and others will say, huh? But look it up. Earl Hebner.
I mean, it's a hard line to determine between corruption and incompetence.
Earl Hebner, what have you done? Ted DiBiase,
I haven't
what have
figured
you
it out
done?
myself.
Okay, so here's one. Freeze tweeting this one. John Cooper on Sidney Crosby's availability for Sunday. He's gone to Lourdes, bathed in holy water. No, wait. We have 48 hours to determine. He has a better chance of playing that than he did of playing today.
Oh, yeah. No, it's such a mystery, isn't it? What will Sidney Crosby, who's nursing a lower body injury, play in the gold medal game of his last Olympics? I don't know, Marek. It's tough to say. I bet he finds a way into the lineup.
Is he healthy
and
enough
the guy
to play?
who crashed into a goalie and nearly cost Canada the game will not be playing in that game. I wonder if that'll happen.
I would. You know what? Crosby comes in. I do wonder who comes out, considering how much John Cooper really did fall in love with that line.
That's a good point. He did like that line.
Tom Wilson and Brad Marchand and Sam Bennett. He went to that line a lot. He pushed that button a ton in that game in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, okay.
I hope Bennett plays, because if Bennett plays, that increases the chances of him crashing into Hellebuyck. Hellebuyck embellishes like he's Nathan MacKinnon in the last 3 minutes of a semifinal game, and the Americans get a power play out of it.
Matthew Tkachuk, what?
Greg, you do have Matthew Tkachuk on your team.
I keep bringing up Matthew Tkachuk, but he's no selling it. He's like the Road Warriors. Like, hey, it's a drop kick, man. You got to sell it. Nope, I ain't selling drop kicks. It's a clothesline. You going to sell that? Nope, ain't going to sell that.
Canadians talk more about Matthew Tkachuk than Penguins fans talk about Tom Wilson. Like, you guys are like poison brained when it comes to Matthew Tkachuk. Why is that? Because he's a brave fighter.
Do you think that Matthew Tkachuk might fall into the same category as Brad Marchand? That he's playing like he's playing for the last time this year?
You seem to believe that the Florida Panthers have just given up on the season. Oh, yeah.
You think?
Look!
You think Sergei Bobrovsky is getting traded to San Jose? What?
I have prepared myself for the reality of like Jack Hughes having the tournament of his life and then being like, "Well, guys, gonna probably take it easy now for the next few months, get ready for next season."
Meanwhile, here's Simon Nemec like playing his balls off, like the best hockey of his life, coming back to New Jersey. Where's Jack? Where's 86?
Yeah, Jack's like point per game. He's like making everybody he plays with look like Connor McDavid. And he gets back to Jersey. He's like, hands really hurt, and I don't know. I'm gonna probably just shut her down now. See you guys next year.
Oh, crap. All right. Shine Spot, our man Zack. The sheet is powered by FanDuel. Greg loves hanging on to these ones, too. Play your game with FanDuel. It's the NHL season. FanDuel is your home for all the action on the ice. There he is with that lovely beard. From Blue Line to BetSlip, we've got you covered all season with unique promos, live offerings, and features to let you play your game. Miss puck drop, no sweat. With a live same-game parlay, you can build your bets up until the final buzzer. Download FanDuel Sportsbook today and play your game. Please play responsibly. 19 plus and physically located in Ontario. Ontario. If you have questions or concerns about your gambling or the gambling of someone close to you, please contact Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge. You know what I got Zack with yesterday, Wish? And if you and I were on yesterday, I would have got you with this one. Zack says he doesn't like it, but he can't stop smiling when I say it. Hey, Greg. What's a vegetable that's cool but like not too cool?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you.
Radish.
It's
So dumb.
Look at him, he can't stop laughing.
It's adjacent to rad.
It's radish. It's cool.
Oh
Like,
my
cool,
God.
Anyway, hey Zach, how's it going? What are you thinking of today?
I'm feeling good. I think that there was a lot of negativity from our American friend who's worried about what happens in 35 minutes from now. So 45 minutes. So I think that there was a lot of coping taking place from Greg Wyshynski. But otherwise, it's been a good show. I've been enjoying it from the back. Backgrounds here for today's parlay. I'm just going to jump right to it. I've got a little bit of a haiku for you guys here, so follow along.
We'll try.
All right, please.
At dusk, the Matt Hughes clean. A jackknife splits the silence. Brave hearts keep chucking. The red light flashes. USA.
Wow.
Holy
Look at
smokes.
that.
Austin
Shit is like
Matthews.
This is like I'm
Brave
back in the
hearts keep
dojo. I'm gonna
chucking.
get a haiku before training. This is amazing. At dusk, the Matt Hughes clean. A jackknife splits the silence. Brave hearts keep chucking. The red light flashes USA. Explain this one to
look at
us, young samurai.
So this starts the Matt Hughes, the surface of the ice. This took me a little while searching up and actually figuring out what
Holy
these things
smokes.
could
Did
be.
Did you burn one before doing this? Like this is.
Jeff
That's how I got
Cash
through the
before he wrote
Canada
this
game. Yeah, and that was the only way I could get through the Canada game. Yeah, the Matt Hughes, the matte, it's clean surface, the ice surface. It's the silence is broken. Jack Hughes, who's had an unbelievable tournament, as you guys just spoke of. I learned my lesson from last time. I think I put Matthew Tkachuk, and Greg jumped on me and said, "You're an idiot, wrong Tkachuk." So I've decided to switch it up. Brady Tkachuk here. And they obviously the Tkachuks chucking. Come on, easy. And then I think the U.S.
And this
wins.
is to score goals? This is to score goals?
Yeah, goal scorers there. Matthews, Hughes, and Tkachuk, and then the States win. by two or more.
Listen, the idea that we're getting 3 against Slava makes me pretty happy, so I hope you're right. So we'll figure it out. This is fine. I think you've picked 3 players that could definitely score a goal in this game. And let's call it an empty netter puck line win for the Americans. Hey, Zach,
Okay.
what do you call an angry carrot?
Oh no.
What?
A steamed vegetable. Come on, man. Where are you on these jokes? Everyone knows that.
Dad joke here. Going dad joke for dad joke. All right.
I had to quickly look up vegetable jokes in order to make sure that I had one for Zach.
Pirate walks into a bar and he's got a steering wheel on his belt. And the bartender says, "Hey, pirate, you got a steering wheel on your belt buckle." And the pirate says, "Arr, it's driving me nuts." If we're just gonna go dad joke for dad joke.
I think we could probably end them there. That was a good one. I'm American. I actually hadn't heard that one. That's pretty good.
Okay, enjoy that. I got a handful of them. We'll wrap the program up there, Radish. Listen, bud, we'll all be tuned in. I know you will as well. We'll be watching USA versus. Listen, my country did our job. Now you go and do yours. So we can all have the dream gold medal match that we had on the women's side that we can have on the men's side here now too. Thanks as always for stopping by. We'll talk to you very soon.
It's my pleasure. I really hope that we do see each other in the gold medal game. And hey, Olympic referees, if you can hear me, you got any more of them third period power plays for your boys in the United States?
Good luck. I'm selling an and to the man in the van. This has all of a sudden become like a combination like Sesame Street broadcast / dad joke / weed reference / conspiracy theory podcast.
Oh, so
Fit
your
that
typical
in
MVSW. Good
Fit
to hear.
that in your Spotify descriptions there. Thanks for joining us here today. Much appreciated. Thanks to Tyler Yaremchuk for stopping by. Thanks to you for subscribing, for interacting, and for listening, and for lending us your eyes as well. We'll talk to you again after the gold medal game in our wrap-up program. So getting up bright and early on Sunday, like, what would your strategy be with this one? If you're just a fan, like if you're not working media, if you're just a fan, are you extending Saturday like right into Sunday? No. Or are you like, okay, I'm peacing out at like 9:30 and getting a good night's sleep?
You are, if you have kids, you're getting up, making sure the kids are all taken care of. It's important to remember them on a morning like this. And then you are ensuring that you have breakfast purchased the night before to make and prepare that morning. And you are unleashing the most glorious Bloody Mary bar you've ever created for yourself. And sitting down and having a little kegs and eggs-esque action. And watching some great hocky.
I just jump in quickly. If people want to see how I react during a game, I'm like 99% sure this is happening. We're doing a watch along at Real Sports downtown Toronto. It'll be broadcast live. So
way.
It'll be Nick Alberga, Dan Riccio, and myself at Real Sports watching Canada against I don't know, the Slovaks, the U.S. if they get third period penalties. I don't know. So Greg seems to think that they need to beat the Slovaks. But yeah, I'll be doing a watch along for that.
I think that sounds awesome. I just want to remind everybody that, like, in Sochi, when we lost to Canada, we then played Finland in the bronze medal game and didn't care. So if you're one of these people who like to lay money, Finland winning bronze,
pretty good chance. Pretty good chance. By the way, you know what? It just dawned on me. You know, if we get the dream final that we all want here, it's going to be the matchup of the Bloody Marys versus the Bloody Caesars. That's
right. And I do love a Bloody Caesar. Again,
it's
not anything personal against Canada. I love poutine. I love hanging out in Toronto. I love Montreal. I like it better than Paris. It's just your hockey, man. Ugh, hate it.
Deal with it. Sorry, bud.
All right,
we're here. Like U.S., you know, you're the reason. Like Canadian hockey is the reason you're here talking to me, bud.
Oh my God. Here, I thought it was because I made dick jokes on the internet and got good jobs somehow.
Well, I do like that too. That was fun. I did like the Jersey fouls a lot. I still do enjoy those.
That's true.
Like halcyon days of Puck Daddy. All right, you be good. We'll talk soon. Greg Wyshynski, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us today. We are back after the Canada versus ? Game on Sunday. Enjoy enjoy USA Slovakia. Hey, maybe enjoy Canada Slovakia on Monday. We'll see how it goes. And again, we'll talk to you Sunday after the game. Have a great weekend. Jeff Marek along with you. Hope you enjoyed the program today. If you did, or maybe even if you didn't, they can't all be gems, folks. Please hit the subscribe button. Also a reminder, every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, Johnny Lazarus, Colby Cohen, I call them the Impact Players. You might know them as a tandem that makes up the Morning Cup of Hockey. Also DFO Live at noon Eastern. This year, your host Tyler Yaremchuk alongside Carter Hutton. Full day's worth of programming right here on Daily Face-Off, your favorite YouTube hockey channel. And as a reminder as well, Zach Phillips, our producer here for The Sheet, said if you subscribe, he'll buy you a puppy. It's true.